Hello and welcome to how I play my level 115 Shadowknight. So this one's been a long time coming, and we're going to talk about spells. We're going to talk about how I have a multibind set up to pretty much have one button to play most of the abilities of this character. And we'll talk about some other stuff, like gear and whatnot. So let's go ahead and jump into this. So if you have not watched my previous how I play my Shadowknight videos, I would definitely watch the previous two. From, I would say, about 105, the game is pretty much set in stone, all the way to 125. And we're pretty much just adding, +1 to our spells and stuff like that. So we'll talk about that. Let's go ahead and get into it here. So my very first spell here is Protest for Power. This is a taunt slash undead slow and an AC buff. Definitely want to have this on at all times, and just get it out there. Now, if we cast it on this dummy here, right? I don't have a current level 1. Target him. There we go. So cast it on there, recourse. So we get some AC, right? No, we had 8400 AC. Plus, it gives us an instantly hatred by 13,000 and then 9,700 over time. So definitely want that on whatever you're tanking, because it's going to give you some of that instantaneous aggro. Now, if I click on this guy over here, I can click it on 2, right? I don't get the extra AC because the recourse buff somewhere over here. Yeah, right here, power of recourse. So it doesn't stack. But I can have it on 2 different mobs, so I can be getting hatred generated on both of them, so it's nice. Now you'll see that it has a 0.5 cast time. Well, it says 0.5, right? It might be, yeah, it's instant right now. You want to keep an eye out for this improved demand for power. At 115, we get our last AA auto grant, so at this point, the spell will require AA to make it back to instant, but definitely something to keep in mind there. It's one of the more important focuses to get after Knight's Synergy, but we'll talk about that in a minute. Next up, I have Spear of Cadence. I have the rank 2, but rank 1 works just as fine. This is just a what is that, 0.1 second cast, right? Like almost instant. It can't do it while moving. It's pretty much the only thing there. Does 15,000 damage. You'll see here. It let's see here, crit for, no, it was a normal hit with all the AAs and stuff. We have 68,000. So that's a nice little spell. Lots of damage out there, real instant for stuff. So it's in my multibind. It's one of the first things I do, as it does have a long recast time. You'll see here, 23 seconds. Next up, I have Volak's Bite. So this causes 2,700 damage and restores health and mana to the group. So you cast that. Everybody in your group gets a little thing, so they get a little health and a little mana. And that adds up, right? Like, what's the recast time on this? A minute. So every minute, I'm giving everybody in the group 1,400 mana, right? Like it's not that much, but it adds up, considering that that's like every fight. So, it just, little bits here and there. But I do it on cooldown since it is a 1 minute recast. And then the next, let's just go with this first. So this is a life tap. We have a lot of life taps on my bar. Because of the way I play, but this one is a 5,100 life tap, but it gives me health. So you see my health is at 387k. If I do this, I'll get Gift of Zlandakar right there, bring my health up to 392, and I get an extra 3,900 hit points. It decays over time, but I do this on cooldown, and as you saw, it is already refreshed, so it is a really nice. Next up, I have Dire Indictment, Indictment. This is a 13,000 life tap. Pretty big, right? did what, 42,000 damage there, and would have healed me for, I think, pretty much that much also, had I been taking damage. And then we have another life tap, Touch of Drinder. This is just a lower one. It's 7,100. So it's another just life tap. To ping, our health ping pongs a lot as a Shadowknight, and this is nice to get us back up in lieu of the Shaman here's capability of healing. Then we have Terror of Minrella. This is our instant cast unresistible hatred generation jolt spell. Casted instantly. I use this to pull because I can do it while running, and it will generate a significant amount of hatred. Now, 18,000 hatred is a lot. It's enough for me to tag a mob and run over my bard and not lose aggro. that's how I measure it. If I can run over my bard and not lose aggro, it's perfect, right? But instant cast jolt aggro right there. Next up, we have Composite Fang. This is our current level progression spell. This is a 55,000 life tap that will heal me for 120% of that damage, up to a maximum of 166,000. It will increase the target's hatred force by 21,000, but it cannot be twin cast. So if we go into my spellbook here, right? So we have Composite Fang, right? Now we have a previous version we got at, I believe, 110. If I have that one, I might only have the 101 one on this guy. I don't think I ran to the Burning Lands back then. Let me see if I can find it real quick. And yeah, this is the 101 one. I guess I didn't buy Dissonant. So you can kind of see, like, it doesn't really tell you any information on this one, but if you go to the bite, the actual spell it casts, you'll see that if we compare the two bites, 55,000 versus 45,000. So it's a pretty good upgrade over that. I've read in some places, you know, don't use your current level 1 or something like that. I haven't figured out why people say that, but as you can see here, it's only 85 mana. So like, I'm gonna obviously take the better one. There may be some optimization, I don't know about it, but that is just nothing I see. And that seems to go for all the classes I've looked at, all the classes I play. I go with the highest level version of that. Now, the only thing I would say that you would go for is to say you had rank 2 of the level 101 one versus rank 1 of the 102, 110, 15 ones. You might have some better optimization there. It's just, I would do it on a spell by spell basis to make sure what you're using is the right one, but typically the best one is going to be the best one. With the Mighty Shout, you draw attention of 30 characters. So I like this spell. Insidious Rejection. This is an AoE life tap that will hit 30 mobs and give me, 7,800 hatred and heal me. And heal me for a maximum of 21,000 or 21,000 per target. So it's just insane. 30 targets, like I can run over to this mob of all these training dummies here. I hit them all, and that would have healed me. And swarming cases, you pull more than one mob. This is a nice little spell to get out there pretty much on cooldown. You cast it if you got multiple mobs. Hits them all, tank them all. It's like an AoE taunt. It's just perfect in every way. The alternate to that, I would use Contempt. That would be the alternate spell I would use here. Just, it gives 11,000 hatred to, the nearby 30 enemies. Unresistible, but I prefer the life tap one because if I have that many enemies right here, I'm probably going to need extra healing, in all honesty. Now, Bond Volak, this is our heal over time life tap. And as you can see here, it heals for 150% of the damage it dealt. So if we click this on, it's instant cast. It's beautiful. We should see, yeah, here we go. So 150%, I think it said. Was it 150%? Yeah, 150% of the damage dealt is transferred to me as health, right? The crit was 89, so I got an 89,000 heal. I got a 20,000 heal. I got an 18,000 heal plus, you know, the 50%. So, you know, double it and divide it by 2. And this is like a 101. Like, it's probably like 150 lucky critical right there. I mean, that's a lot of healing for this spell. And I cast it on cooldown. I believe it's in my multibind right now. Maybe it is not in my multibind anymore. Yeah, it's not in my multibind anymore. Let's put it right there. I'm not 100% sure what happened there. Maybe I was manually casting it. But it can go right there. It's fine. I don't really care. I did. Oh no, I think yeah. I did something. I was messing with something, but for the most part, I do it on cooldown. It is what? How was the cooldown on this thing? 10 seconds. So yeah, there's enough time to get all these other spells in. It's instant cast too, so it's perfect. Next up, the next 3 spells are all self buffs. And these pretty much have to be permanently memorized because they're short duration buffs, right? Like the first one here, Confluent Disruption, places a disruptive mantle on yourself, which causes you to automatically cast Precise Disruption 3 Beza. So click that right over there. Whenever another caster's heals between 106 and 120 land on you. All right, so every time I get healed by somebody with a heal that's between 106 and 120, I will get, let's see, this spell will pierces your target, dealing 16,000 damage and reflecting disrupted recourse Beza. So let's click that one. That's another spell it casts. It will also trigger expansive distracting Beza, inciting 65 anger to all enemies around me. So I'm getting an AoE taunt out of this, and I'm getting a 16,000 point damage that heals me for 9,879. It's insane, absolutely insane. This lasts for 2 minutes and 40 heals, right? You can see right here, 4 minutes with all my spells and buffs, 40 charges, right? So if I go over to my shaman here, I target him, so he was at 40. I click that, and I'm at 39, right? So that's how it works. You get a heal, it does all of that magic stuff. And I don't know what the percent chance on that, so it's 100% chance. So it's just crazy. I don't know. Fun stuff there. Next up, we have Storm Wall Stance. This is our current level stance. This just gives us bonus extra HP. This is kind of like the Druid and the Shaman's growth line. Paladin and Shadowknight have their own self one that is, I think they're all the same. So it's pretty nice. The growth one you would cast on warriors. This is the Shadowknight Paladin can take care of that on their own, which gives us, you know, we already had that buff on. You see there, gives us an extra 36,000 hit points, right? That's like 2 hits, maybe 1 hit. What did I get hit for, right? So, Soulskin Hagar claws you for 30,000, 38,000, 52,000, 62,000, 60,000, 63,000, 74,000, 74,000, 74,000. So that's about how I was getting. That's named in the clause of Vision expansion tier 1. So you can see there, I'm getting hit for, you know, 74,000 on a normal mob. So it's definitely something nice to have that extra buffer when it comes to that kind of stuff. So, and then we have Kane's Skin, which is our current level skin, which is a absorption spell, I guess is the best way to say it. You know, it says it right there. It'll absorb 11,000 damage from the next 3 melee attacks made against you. It will last for 5 minutes until you've done it 49 times. Now, you can see over here, with all my buffs, it's looks like it's doing 13 minutes with I don't know how many charges that is. It looks like 100. So this is crazy. Now, a lot of our spells get focus abilities, right? So that's like all the spells I use. So we got Extended Decrepit Skin, extends the skin line by 96 seconds, and increases the number of charges by 56. So 49 plus 56 is probably not 102. I don't think. There's something else going on there, but it is, you know, something nice there. Yeah, it's 105. But you know, whatever that is. So these different focuses are very important. Now you'll see that probably Zenacious Skin, this is the 121. So like it stops there, right? So if I don't buy this AA at, what level is this, 120, I won't get that extra benefit, right? So that's something to keep in mind when you're leveling up and you hit these thresholds. Then at this point on, so at 115 and beyond, the AAs are actually important. So this is, you know, something I haven't really covered really, you know, that much this whole time, but it is now important because you don't have to, you don't get them for free. So my order for AAs is pretty simple. Knight's Synergy is my first AA. And then I go here to Combat Agility, Combat Stability. See here, General Sturdiness and Natural Durability. And then I pick up Armor of Wisdom. For the Shadowknight, I'm going to do 100% defensive things that benefit my character. Once I have those all done, right, then I'm going to jump back over here to the focuses and pick up these, you know, ones that I need, right? Like this one, Enduring Reproval, we're going to want to get that one. Let's see, what level is that? 118. We're going to make sure we get that at 118 just to get to the next rank. It's only 25. We're going to want to get the upgrade to Decrepit Skin, Zenacious Skin at 120. And let's see here, like these ones here, these are important, right? Like all of these different focuses improve the damage of our spells. It allows us to do a lot more damage, but they're not as important, I say, as defensive stuff, because if you can't stay alive to do the extra 21% damage, then what was the point in the first place, right? So that's kind of my thought process on this. Like, Night Synergy is the most important one, in my opinion, because whenever you do Thwart, or in this case, the next rank is Repudiate. So when I do Thwart, everybody in my group gets Night Synergy 3, which it lets them absorb 12,000 damage of the next 6 direct damage or melee hits. Now, you might not think that's a lot, but it will save lives in some cases. So considering how fast you can re-thwart, right? And just, it's always up. Nice to have on everybody in the group, and especially if you have pets, because pets will benefit from that also. So just some food for thought there with that. Now, with that said, those are all the spells I use on a normal basis. This is my rotational spells. Other spells I use is Minion of Drindar, which summons our little skeleton pet here, which is more or less a dot that you can kind of control. If we look at this, what is he hitting for here? 13,000 criticals, 9,000 normals, 3,800 normals. He's not doing a lot, but he's showing up and he's having a good time. You want to buff him with Gift of Drindar. This will give him haste, extra melee damage, strength, armor class. Now, like, let's be honest. This pet's not a necro pet. It's not even a shaman pet. I would say. I should have a video where I just have pets fight. But it's not the best pet, but it's a good pet. in the sense that I can send this pet onto a mob, and he's not going to instantly die like he does early on in the game. He's going to survive for a little bit. My shaman, the way I play my shaman, is he's constantly group healing. So all the pets that are taking little hits and chicks there, you know, they're getting, you know, passively healed, so they don't die like instantly. So it works out well. The pet is also going to benefit from like the composite roar line from the shaman, which I guess I don't see a proc here, but we'll proc a heal. So heal, you know, there maybe it's in here. Yeah, there's a heal involved in that, so it's pretty nice. So those are all the spells. So multi-bind wise, like if you watched everything else in all my other videos, pretty much it's the same multi-bind right now. What is a multi-bind? If we go here to keys and go to hotbar 6, which is this one right here, you can see everything is bound to one button. 4. It's also bound to the 5 button. There's reasons I have them both bound, but let's just for this sake, let's just talk about the 5, right? Every time I push 5, if we go over here, stand right here. If I push 5, something happened, right? Taunt, thwart, and this spell happened, plus whatever's in my multi-bind here, pet attack, pet swarm. You can see all my pets, all my pets attack because I didn't turn off key maps for IS Boxer here. Let's get them to stop so they can stop being annoying here. There we go. Let's get the mage. Now, so every time I push 5, as I said, it's going to do something. That time Chattering Bones went off along with Thwart and Taunt in that first spell. Right, and it just goes through. Like I'm spamming the button, just kind of showing I'm hitting it as fast as I can possibly push the button, right? That's all I'm doing. I'm pushing 5. One button, doing all of the actions I am doing, right? All the AAs got activated, and see there, touch of Zendikar, and it just cycles through whatever's available, right? All right, so I have an order to this that I have changed around for the last 115 levels. As we get new spells, you know, and stuff like that. So the multi-bind starts with 5, which is just turns on my attack. It tells my pet to attack whatever I'm targeting. It tells my swarm pet, the little, you see these little skeletons right there with the holding the Shadowknight epic, they're attacking, right? They're gonna change targets. If I switch to this one over here and I just click my multi-bind button, they all switch. That's the way I don't have them queue up on the mob. If I switch, I want everybody to switch, right? That's kind of how I have that set. I have Taunt, which is a standard, you know, level 1 ability right there. Is the first ability. Then I have Thwart, which is our current level brace, if you will. So the next 2 incoming melee attacks reduces the damage by 90% or until 64,000 damage has been absorbed. With all our AAs, let me see if I can find out where this spell is actually at here. Let's thwart him real quick. With our AAs, I think it's more than 4. Yeah, there it is. It's 5. 18 seconds, 5 charges of that. So every time I get hit, 90% of that damage gets a little shave off the top, right? So there. Then I do Spear, and then I do Bite, and then I do Terror, and then I do Fang, Touch of Zendikar, which is the HP one, Dire Indictment, which is the big one, and then Touch of Drindar, which is the quasi leftover lowers, I think 7300 one. I do the AoE, Taunt, AoE, Life Tap, and then we do have Bond of Volok here. We just put in, so it's there. Now with that, we also have the AA Chattering Bones, which is our Swarm Pet ability, which at current level summons 2 level 115 skeleton minions to attack. And they will trigger Venom Claw, which will do 7,500 damage and return 100% of that damage back to me as healing. Then we have Bite of Chaos, which instantly deals 20,000 damage. and blesses everybody in the group with this recourse buff, which gives 8,000 health, 1,300 mana, 300 endurance. Very nice. On cooldown, use that. Then we have Ageless Enmity, which is just another taunt. This is a 15,000 point hate, 15,000 points of hate. Then we have Projection of Doom, summons a level 115 projection that generates 55,000 hatred, and then 18,000 hatred every 5 seconds for 15 seconds. If it survives for that 15 seconds, all that hatred is transferred to me, where I want it. And then we have Rending Blade, which is it's just like an extra melee attack. Like it's nothing more than that, right? I think it swings a two-hander. If we click it on here, right, it just swings a blade, right? Don't even have to have it like a two-hander equipped. I believe that's what it is. It might just be a normal attack at 1,200 damage. If we look at my two-hander, my two-hander is 1,000 damage. So my one-hander is 800 damage. So it's a pretty big attack out of the ordinary there. Then we have Unending Acrimony. This is another taunt. It will focus the target on me for, what is this, 18 seconds, giving me, what is that, dealing 4,600 damage. All of my allies, so everybody in my group, will generate 90% less hatred, and a reflection will increase all hatred you generate by 60% and heal me for 4,600 every 18 seconds. So this is something, you know, to kind of like lockdown aggro, you know, right? I do it on cooldown, otherwise I wouldn't even use it, just because I'm that lazy. If I was playing a single character, I would have, you know, my hotbars completely set up differently where I could, you know, selectively use this stuff. But since I play with, you know, only my characters with this guy, it's just, you know, it works best for me. Next up, we have, oh, this one got changed. So there we go. We got a new one. I did not realize that. I guess because I had the rank 2 one. Sarai's Blade is the level 115 version of this. Strikes your target with 3 sword attacks with a base damage of 3797, 40, 12, 43, 58. Places you in enrage, which will increase the damage your spells between 106 and 115 do by 2982, and gives you haste and adds 479 minimum damage to your melee attacks for 1 minute. So it's a nice little buff to, you know, kind of get a little extra damage out there. I do it on cooldown. It's a 20-minute reuse. It doesn't really fit into my other what I'm doing normally, so I like it where it's at. See here, then we have Vile's Resolve. When activated, strikes your target with 3 700 point base damage 200 two-hand slash attacks, and applies Resolve of Weakness, which increases the damage the target takes from melee damage by 20% for 1 minute. This is a minute reuse, so realistically I'd probably save this for like a named mob, but I just do it on cooldown. Otherwise I wouldn't do it, as I said, because I am lazy. And then we have Reflexive Resentment. Your heightened reflexes allow you to strike your target with 3 two-handed slashing attacks with a base damage of 1838, stealing their essence to heal your group with Reflective Resentment, which heals for up to 38,000 damage to the group. So, who knew Shadowknights were healers? But that is my multi-bind. I hit this button, hit 5. I have it on 4, but that's a whole nother story I don't want to get into right now. But I just hit 5 and I'm doing all my abilities, right? Everything goes through this whole line of spells. All the AAs get activated pretty much instantly because they're not on the global cooldown. All we're waiting for is spells to go. This pretty much allows me to play with one finger on the keyboard to do that, and allows me to focus on other things. All right, so that's that. Now, other things I do cast, Spite of Manrella. This is just another kind of bonus thing here, so it'll let us get more, what is this? Your melee strikes have a chance to lower your target's armor by 13, deal 9294 damage, and return 150% back to me as health for 18 seconds. So it's a nice little spell, lasts a little long, right? It's a 5-minute duration. I haven't found the best time to use this. I don't feel like it's a defensive. It takes away my damage. It gives me the ability to life tap more, but it's kind of like my last resort, if you will. A Scourge skin, I use this, whenever I can. It gives me a 5,000 point damage shield for 200 hits, just extra damage. Now, I brought this down from over here. It used to be up here, but a Deflection Discipline. I only brought that down because I've been using my shield more. Normally, I'm using a two-hander, but I was looking at the breastplate, and the breastplate has a Deflection Discipline duration increased by 2 ticks, so that's an extra 12 seconds or something like that. So it gives us quite a duration on our ability here. It's a 40-minute reuse, but it allows us to block a lot of stuff. Now, I have it up. It's pretty much the same as Shield Flash, which I have over on this side, because I ran out of buttons over here. But this one will allow me to block all incoming attacks for 6 seconds. So in situations where you're going to take a lot of damage, right? Like when we do the group video, I'm going to go kill Zelandikar, and you'll see that initial, before he's under control, he is going to probably almost one-shot me, right? And so right before we activate him, we're going to pop Shield Flash, and maybe Deflection, get that ready. I don't know, but we'll see how it goes. I haven't killed him yet with this character. We're going to do it together live in that video, but he hits pretty hard. He like almost one-shot my Paladin at 125. When I tried to solo it. So we'll see that there. Now, another ability I use here is Restless Mantle, which is a mini defensive. So this is a 1-minute duration, 35% of incoming melee damage is absorbed, and what is that, 2.3 million damage, and heals me for 41,000 when it's done. So it was pretty nice little thing to have. Now we have Cadence's Catacane Carapace. This is another little mini defensive. This one's 20%. Let's see here. Melee damage, draining 4,500 health from your attackers for 2 minutes. It'll fade away once it's done 32 times or 1,000,000 damage. Now, we also got this one, Impermanent Influence, which is this on the same timer as Carapace. And I haven't had a chance to use this one yet, but this one absorbs 20% of incoming melee damage. But whenever I'm struck, it will trigger this life tap and return 100% of that back to me, up to 18,000. And it casts, what is this? A group heal of 5,500 and increases my pet damage by 753% and adds 22,000 hit points for 6 seconds. So definitely like a different thing. I like on my other Shadowknight that's 120. I never noticed this spell, so this is something interesting. They both have a same timer, 11, same reuse, same duration. This one's 20%. This one's 20%. This one increases my armor class. This one makes me a little bit more life tappy. So we'll try those out as we go through the next few levels and see. Then we also have Cursed Guardian here. I don't believe this one has been updated yet. Yeah, this one hasn't been updated. So I don't remember if this one is super weak. Let me see here. You assume a fighting style of an unholy guardian, reducing your melee damage potential by 60%, but you reduce the damage you take by 36%. This discipline will trigger Cursed Guardian effects, which will give me additional 34, 39 life taps. Now, this is a 107 discipline, hasn't been updated yet, and it does take the damage down by 36%, lowering my damage, but I'm using a sword and board for like most of this content now, and it's not a big deal. So I use it as like a third defensive. It doesn't have the same, oh damn it, it doesn't have the same limitations as absorbing 1 million damage or 2.3 million damage here. So you get that full 3 minutes or 120, whatever happens first. So that's kind of nice to have there. All right, let's see here. Reaper's a bargain. Now, I've used this ability twice, and it's pretty nice, right? Let's read the description here. When activated, consumes 950 endurance per second. Increases your unconscious health by 70,000. So I can get to 0 health and go down 70,000 more. So it's like an extra hit. Absorb 5% of incoming damage with my mana at a rate of 100 damage to 40 mana, while granting a rune that protects you against incoming melee hits that inflict at least 31,000 damage, absorbing 75% of the damage that exceeds 31,000 for 2 minutes and 30 seconds. This rune can absorb 500,017 before fading. Let's see. Reaver Bargain can only be activated when you're above 20% mana and endurance, and cannot be manually removed early, but will trigger Reaver's exhaustion should your mana or endurance drop below 10%, which ends the bargain and drains your remaining mana and endurance, right? Exhaustion just drains it. So if you're high on resources, this is really good. But it sounds great, but every time I've used it, I end up with 0 resources. So I feel like I haven't hit the point where I need it yet. Well, maybe you need it on Santa Car for sure when we do that, because he is going to hit like a truck, and we'll see how that goes. Other buffs here, we have Visage of Death, which is gives us a 265% extra melee damage, and then Visage of Decay, which increases the mana cost of our spells, but increases the damage of our damage over time spells by 100%. So it's pretty nice, and direct damage by 65. Let's see here. I think that's everything, right? Gear-wise, the best gear you can get group-wise is Snow Squall. No, not Snow Squall. What am I thinking? It's Valium Threaded. Is the best crafted gear you can get at 115, which is slightly better than, I think, waxing gear. I think I have... Nah, I don't even have it on me anymore. Waxing is the Terror of Luckland Tier 1 gear. I believe this edges it out by like 100 hit points or something like that. I had some Valium Threaded laying around, so I'm using it right now. I do have the Raid Breastplate, the Raid Helmet, and something else. I thought I had something else. Maybe I don't. Oh, Raid Arms. I do have those, which is the Valium Endowed, which is better than anything group-wise you can get. I am also using the Valium Endowed Warhammer, which is a Raid Crafted Hammer and Shield. And I do have the Raid Crafted Two-Hander. Moving forward, after these, we're going to be only using group gear all the way up, except weapons, all the way to 125. Because I just don't feel like spending 2 million a piece on stuff. I got a good deal on these things, so I'm just not doing that. So as we get into the higher levels, we'll be doing that. So that's kind of where you should go. I started with Snowbound and Snow Squall, and just get that. I actually got this belt killing some guy in COV, getting my spells earlier today. So definitely some stuff there that you can pick up. But let's see here. I think that's everything. So, unless I missed anything, the multi-bind is really the most important with the spells. Like, everything else is pretty much the same as we've done before. If there's any questions or comments, if I missed something that I should have covered, let me know and I'll cover it in the 120 video. This should be, should hopefully sooner than later. But thank you very much for watching, and please have a fantastic day.